Everyone, the Anthony S. You are alone. Today we're going to do an impromptu speech with someone I'm working with Toastmasters in. The goal of this is to have some fun and to answer some random questions. Bradley, how you doing?
Anthony, thank you for having me over today to the coffee shop.
Yeah.
I'm doing just fine today.
Awesome.
Nice sunny day. Thanks.
All right. For the group at home, what is your role? What do you do at work?
At work, I'm what's called an account manager.
Okay.
And I will go around and help hoteliers and help them manage their accounts and their revenue.
Okay. So now my big question about that is, do you see any real crazy stuff on the road, or is it everything pretty normal?
I have seen a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Were you specifically referring to just the driving piece or talking to the people that I go visit?
I'd say the visit, because I worked in a hotel for a while, and I did bartending, serving, and room service. Mm-hmm. And I got my fair share of interesting conversations and meetings with individuals in their rooms that I just was not prepared for. Now, I was curious to see if that happened on the account side as well.
On the account side, it doesn't happen. I also was in the hotel business when I started out doing the room service, and as also a bartender, and you do see a lot more crazy stuff. Yeah. I'm dealing mostly with either owners or general managers that aren't really as in the operational part of it as you described and I was also. So our meetings are planned. I'll call them in advance. We'll set up a time, and then we'll have a room or be in their office. The only time that I do have a good story of what happened, I will go to the hotel and the front desk agent has someone screaming at them, a guest, for example.
That's a good time.
And that guest has booked on our platform. And then the front desk agent will say, well, there's the person that works for that company. I don't deal with the guest part of it. I only deal with the owners and general managers. So for them to then have the guest turn around and confront my entire company through me when I don't deal with the guest side of it, puts me on the spot. Those are always interesting. And there's a telephone number for support, and we just like, hey, I can't help you with this. However, if you call this number, you'll get instant access. So being put on the spot sometimes is quite embarrassing, especially if I'm in my big blue uniform and it has my company logo on it. I mean, I can't back out of that.
Yeah, you're kind of committed.
I'm committed at that point.
It makes me laugh now. It's almost like you want to wear a regular shirt so you can like walk in and be like, this person and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yes. I'm in room like 326 or whatever. Don't bother me.
I can't hide it when I'm in line with all the other guests who've traveled all the times. And yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty funny.
It is a good story.
Let me ask you this. Has there been, it'll be a long question and it'll be able to answer like, I think one or two questions will come out of it. Has there been something that changed in your role or in your company that you really enjoyed in the last 6 months? Like, is your team continuously growing or continuously changing with the times? Or has it been a rather stagnant company and there are things that you're having challenges today? Is there one of the other? I'll kind of let you go down either road you want.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a very valid question. To survive in our technology company and industry, it requires constant change. And that's part of the company motto and culture is we thrive on change and be open and adaptive to it.
Yeah.
The landscape changes for online travel industry all the time. Guest preferences change. Political climates change where some countries may not be allowed to travel to other countries.
Yeah.
So we do deal with constant change. So I don't have the luxury of having a static, boring, I'm going to put this pen cap, in a factory work that's the same redundant task each day. It is constantly changing and it is a challenge. It's exciting. The team members have also changed. I've been in our office the longest here in this area for 4.5 years.
Okay.
I've seen at least an 80 to 90% either turnover, attrition rate, or promotions. But I'm the original person that has seen 8 or 9 people come and go. So we're always having an influx. Maybe they find a better career. Maybe they move to another location to work, in a different office.
So it's not all turnover.
There are some promotions that are in there as well. Yes, or role changes.
What would you say percentage-wise? How many turnovers versus how many promotions?
At least I counted it 80% turnover, and I would say 15% promotions.
Okay.
So quite a lot.
That's intense.
It is.
Okay.
It is. So lots of constant change keeps us on our toes.
Okay. Now, I guess I kind of wanted to pick on that a little bit because I love that. I'm a management consultant. That's all I love talking about. Turnover versus, I like to find reasons. I like to find the why. Why people get that job in the first place only to leave. What were they looking for and what did they not get? And that's a big piece that I think we forget as managers, that as soon as you get into leadership, all of a sudden you're working for them. It's not the opposite way. Most managers or leadership think, oh, I've made it. No. You're just playing the game now. So are most people leaving because maybe a manager, or is it just because, I know in the hotel industry, it's just, you kind of move around a lot. It's kind of part of it. There's a couple different flags, people move around, and that's just kind of part of the gig. Is that kind of what you see? It's not necessarily any one person or thing. It's just part of the industry.
That's a really good question as well. I've struggled, having been a manager before this job as well. And in the hotel industry, you're right. It's around 2 years.
Yeah.
2 to 3 would be a long-term employee.
Yeah.
I've had roles for myself about a 7-year stint in different positions,
which is pretty good
for Generation X. That's kind of the
average.
The normal or average. I do know some of the millennials are, they're just testing it out. They don't know. Maybe they're out of college. It's for various reasons. Some companies pay more than ours, so we're not one of the top companies that pay the most. So they would leave to maybe following a salary, or kind of chasing a carrot somewhere else. If you look at the total package, though, for our company, it is better if you include the benefits and being the top travel company on the planet. But a lot of people can't see that because they don't have the knowledge or life experience that have worked at maybe 10 different companies to realize the value of what our company has to offer. So they just leave. And some of them do regret it, and they can't really come back. But they've moved on, and maybe they've matured quite a bit.
Okay.
So I would say salary is a big driver for it. Some people, life changes. Somebody had 2 twins. They were blessed with 2 twin baby boys. Yeah. Exactly. With the 50% travel option, that does weigh on a lot of people. It is explained in the interview process thoroughly through 3 different interview processes that you go through. You will be traveling up to 50% of your time. And I don't always work weekends, but it is a lot of traveling that a lot of people don't want to. They don't quite realize it yet, or they don't have the fortitude to stay with it.
Talking about that, so when you travel, and usually these are the 5 minutes, but I'm having fun, so we're going to make it longer.
Yeah, sounds great.
When you look at traveling, how does that affect your personal life?
Yeah.
It's being honest, 100%. Don't worry about it. It's going to go to the public. Yes, people listen from across the world. Just let it go.
Yeah. It can be a challenge. I don't personally mind it. I've traveled a lot in my life. World traveler. I'm used to airplanes and airports and road conditions and setting trips up. I thrive on that. Going out in different cultures, different food, different places, being in an area I don't know, and figuring things out and meeting the clients, for example. I don't have a family, so I do not have a family, and I don't have kids.
Yeah.
Some account managers do, and I do feel that they would wish they were at home more.
Yeah.
Personally, no. It's during the week that I'm exhausted. When I come home after the weekends, I crash and I don't really do anything. I'll go to the grocery store, take care of a little bit of errands, but I'm not then going out and seeking out a lot of other social situations. So it does kind of put a damper on because you're just so tired from traveling that much.
Let me ask this, and this is kind of tough, and I'll bring this up not to put you on the spot, but at the same time, it's always good to do these things. You're doing Toastmasters, which is good. Are you reading any books in particular right now to grow the span of knowledge? Are you listening to any certain podcasts? Do you have anything else going on in the background on those days that you're just kind of hanging out? Is there anything you're doing to grow a little bit?
That is a very valid question. It's encouraged in our company to do that. We do have learning libraries.
Nice.
Where if you find a book, and you would share it not only in your office but across.
Yeah.
Good to Great is one of the books that I've read in the past.
Colin, there you go.
That was a fantastic book.
It is fantastic for everyone for everyone's going to listen to this. You need to listen to
absolutely
read that. Trust me.
Good to Great.
It's really good.
And other ones, influencing. If I read anything nowadays, I'm not as much of a big reader as I used to be. I really try to disengage when I'm not at work now because I'm always in front of screens. I'm always reading 100 emails and having conversations. So I will step back and do other outdoor activities. We talked. I picked up soccer, for example. Go to the gym and swim where you're underwater and you don't hear any sounds. So I've not really.
But I like that though. So instead of working on the mind, you realize that sometimes you got to work on the body a little more and get that back.
Work-life balance is an extremely important part of what should be developed for every person. You can go, and you're in the rat race, of course. However, if you're not taking care of your body, also besides your mind, you can burn out, and that's part of the reason for the high turnover. That it's always being thrown at you, but take time to step back and, for me, do something else to get my batteries recharged or refreshed. I don't even travel as much personally as when I used to because I travel so much now.
Do you get any time, like if you're traveling, do you get any time to yourself? Like if you're working with a location and then maybe you spend like 3 or 4 hours and go do something in that city, or is it like it's so hard during the day to get it all done that you just want to go back to your room and crash?
No, we don't get time during the day. It's meetings from 9 to 5 or dinners and breakfast and lunches. When you're out in market, you're expected to be fully engaged because it is on the company time and they are paying for everything, which is a great thing. There's no personal expenses that have to come out of it. However, the point to being an account manager is to manage accounts and engage as many relationships as you can while you're out there. You can request, an extra day. So if I finished, I can't take off early on a Friday. However, if I wanted to stay Saturday on my own time, I could do that and then explore the area. But in general, some of my territories, the Grand Canyon or Page, no, I couldn't go take a tour during the work day. But on an extra day, or if it was planned to go up a day in advance, that would be allowed, but it would be on your own personal time.
So see, that makes sense now. So now you're in like this point of you have like 4 or 5 days of continuous work.
Yes.
That's not conducive.
Yeah.
As much as you can always say as a company and as a manager, oh, you need to do work-life balance, but then you also tell them, oh, by the way, I need you to work 5 solid days in a row. I can understand I'm already understanding the turnover.
Yep.
There's a disconnect between it'd be like the mom or dad that says don't drink, but yet they're an alcoholic.
Right.
And it's not conducive to teaching people the correct thing.
Right.
So I see, that's why I love it's very easy to see pieces because that's how it is. Mm-hmm. And I think it even goes deeper to happiness. Mm-hmm. Work-life balance to me is a word that I've kind of let go of because buzzwords to me kind of get on my nerves a bit. Mainly because working in big, larger companies, buzzwords, they're synonymous with your eyes glazing over, essentially, because you're tired of listening to the same 18 words. And all I'm thinking is, as long as you're happy, like if you work 80 hours, 100 hours a week, that's fine. Are you happy doing this?
Correct.
And then for me, it's whatever. If you're not, and you don't want to work as much, then work 40 hours, 30 hours, 20 hours a week, accept the pay you're at, and then find a way to enjoy it. By all means, live the dream.
Yep. And I agree. I'm in over 7 years with the current company.
Yeah.
So it has been a wonderful ride experience. Yeah.
So, alrighty. Well, we're at 15 minutes. I think we'll chop there.
Okay.
Bradley, thank you for
thank you for having me.
An impromptu time here.
Absolutely.
It's always fun. Once again, it's the Anthony S. You're alone. I'll talk to you all soon.